Welcome to Kev's Travel Stories. Each week I'll be bringing you a story from the weird and wonderful world of travel, a world that can change the way you see life and love and even the way we find meaning. Places that are iconic and sometimes surprising and even terrifying. So sit back and enjoy while we go on a magical mystery tour together. Welcome to Kevin's Travel Story. Each week I take a different subject, something that's occurred in this wonderful life that I have of travelling the world and getting to see things that still take my breath away. This week I'm going to ask a question that really has been dominating my mind recently on my trip to Asia, and that is, could you live in a hotel? Now, from artists to rock bands to eccentric millionaires, megastars have lived in hotels since time immemorial. But what about everyone else? Would you like to live 24/7 with a concierge and room service? Is it the sort of life that would suit everyone? Well, I found actually on this recent trip to Bangkok that life lived in a hotel has plenty of pluses and few minuses. And as a travel writer, I found that very commodious, which is another way of saying I liked it. First, a very short history of hotel living. There's very many notable people have lived in hotels. You've got Coco Chanel, who lived in the Ritz in Paris, to Bob Dylan in that most famous of live-in hotels, the Chelsea Hotel in New York. And then, of course, you've got the mad Howard Hughes, the first billionaire, who sort of kept himself in splendid and insane isolation in the Beverly Hills Hotel in LA. And then right down to Oscar Wilde, that most wonderful genius Irish writer who spent his final days in the Hotel d'Alsace in Paris. And I was really taken with this sort of sense of, well, what is it about living in a hotel that would turn all these creatives on? And I think I've discovered the reason. And it goes back to being lonely, surrounded by people. And I think if you're a creative, you do need a certain loneliness. Now, look at J.K. Rowling. She created one of the greatest stories ever written in the Western world, which was the Harry Potter books, while she was in a coffee shop. She had a young baby. She was a single mum. So can you imagine it? And she only had the price of one cup of coffee. So there she was in Edinburgh, pushing the buggy with one hand, writing with the other hand, surrounded by noisy people. That solitude is almost focused by the amount of other stuff that's going on. And it's interesting that when J.K. Rowling had to complete one of the final Harry books, she went and booked herself into a hotel for 6 weeks, I think it was, and never saw anybody and just did it. So as a creative and as a writer myself, I'm now on my 11th book writing. I produce podcasts, as you know, and I write a weekly column. What is the environment that's going to make me creative? Well, I think I found it. While I was in Bangkok, I went on 2 long expeditions, one to Laos, to Luang Prabang, to see Buddha Day and to find out about their food. And then after that, to Vietnam. This had been a long quest for me, the whole Vietnam War connection. I did a podcast on Saigon and describe all the expeditions to the Cu Chi tunnels and to the CIA secret building where the last American chopper took off, leaving so many South Vietnamese people behind who were hostages to fate because they'd helped the American regime. But I came back from that experience sort of quite exhausted and just a little bit sick. And I had, luckily, booked 1 week in a hotel that became my home. The hotel is called the Salil Riverside in Bangkok. And it's in an area of Bangkok that's very dear to me. I got to know the Salil Riverside Hotel through my dear friend Diamond, who you may have come across in other podcasts and my writings. He's the concierge that I first met when I visited Bangkok just after lockdown, and we became firm friends, and he's toured with me and shown me from the Killing Fields to Angkor Wat, from Luang Prabang to Chiang Mai. He has taken my hand and literally shown me how and where to travel. I've learned so much for him. And when I came back last year, he said, listen, this fantastic new hotel has opened. Please come and visit it. So I said, okay, I will. We went along and I met the owner, Salil, this wonderful Thai entrepreneur. She designed the hotel right down to the patterns on the wall, on your towels, on your bed linen. And she made a hotel of the ages, I think. One of the critical things she did was to make sure that there were all these different pods of activity going down. So when you leave into the center of the hotel where the swimming pool is, you're surrounded by the most extraordinary ice cream parlor. You have a wine shop which has some of the great houses from Le Pin to Chateau Margaux to Lynch-Barge to Philan-Ségur. Incredible array of wines. There's great tradition in coffee in that area of Laos, of Vietnam, of Thailand, and they have some extraordinarily good coffee. They have then a fish restaurant and a basic Thai general Western restaurant. And then down just by the rivers, you look at the great river that weaves like this huge snake through the center of Bangkok. You can sit at night and have a cocktail and watch the Asian world go by. Just mind mosquitoes and have your spray ready. So Salil described to me how she had created this place so you'd never have to leave the hotel. The rooms are absolutely spot on, 5-star luxury, and it's the most comfortable bed I have ever slept in. It has those cushions that feel as if you're floating on warm water, and the pillows just invite you into sleep. So I was very lucky. I was gifted myself these 7 days to just recuperate, to write, to podcast, and to just reflect on my journey. And this is what I discovered. This would be my day living life in a hotel. And by the end, I have to say that I was sort of thinking, yeah, you could do this. You could do this for a month. You could do this for 2 months, to really let the creative juices flow, to really create something memorable. So this would be my day. I'd get up around about 8:30, 9 and go down in your flip-flops. You open the curtain and the sky is blue. What more do you want? The sky is a most wonderful blue. The temperature is hovering in the high 20s, 27, 28. I would have a shower, put on my flip-flops, shorts and a t-shirt and walk down to breakfast. Breakfast was in this huge dining area. You have everything you want, from noodles to bamboo soup, to eggs, to coffee, to fresh fruit drinks. And I would take 2 hours eating, drawing my notes, using my remarkable 2 inkless electronic ink pad to draw up a plan for the day. What am I going to write about? What am I going to podcast about? Sit there drinking endless coffees and just feeling the warmth coming from outside. Sit by an open door so the air condition doesn't make you too cool. You can feel the heat like an oven outside. Then around about 11, half 11, I'd get up and walk outside. And again, walking into that oven-like heat. It was just so healing for the body. I'd then go and walk to the local area. There's a lovely local street market, and the street market has the most incredible food for nothing, for $1 or $2. You can get soups, you can get noodles, you can get fish and pork dishes. I'd come back, find a quiet place and do another 2 hours work, and then go into the pool, have a dip, lions float, swim, and just allow the ideas to percolate. What I really like about the Salil Hotel is there's lots of Asian guests, so you're almost like a stranger, and it's this strangeness that really is what I love about hotel living. You can observe and be observed as well, but you are quite unique in your own little way. And you're not meeting too many English-speaking people, which I find is a huge advantage, because it allows you to pressure cooker whatever ideas are there. Then around about 7 in the evening, I go down again. In Thailand, you can get a Thai massage, which is where you're manipulated. They're expert. They have a huge tradition here where the masseur, male or female, will put your body, your legs, your spine into these quite extreme positions, not through pain, obviously. My real sweet spot was an hour of this manipulation, followed by half an hour of oil massage, where they do the head and the scalp and the eyes and the eye socket. And you leave that $6 or $7, and you're in a different place. And then I maybe have a rice dish with the street food vendors, because it's down and dirty in the streets outside of the 5-star hotel. I just love it. I love the smell of the tuk-tuks as they roar past. I like that smell of the buses and the heat that gets into your skin. And then I'd return and walk up and go down with my notepad and order a beer, a lovely Thai beer, maybe have one French cigarette, and just look over the river and reflect on the day and watch the stars pass overhead. And then whenever tiredness took me, I'd wend my way up. The bed had been freshly made. This is what I love about hotel living. The bathroom is pristine and spotless. I never turned on the telly once, actually, in that whole week. And then you go into this dream sleep. And I think one of the great things about being there is that you're in your own space, but you're surrounded by people. And you're surrounded by a level of luxury which supports you. I don't think you could do it for a huge amount of time if you did it for the rest of your life. Like anything, you need stimulus and you need ups and downs, and the research shows you really do need to be challenged. But to have these little spaces, this gap of time where you can just allow the body to recover and to process things like the killing fields, these amazing experiences that travel give you, like Angkor Wat or the Coochie tunnels in Saigon or Halong Bay, and just allow that all to marinate as you stay in your hotel. I just think it was one of the most wonderful experiences, and I'm looking forward to going back and enjoying hotel life. I think hotel life, you could live in a hotel, and I could live in a hotel, not for too long. And I'm not sure I could live long term like some of the people who spent their lives in the Chelsea Hotel, or Oscar Wilde, who famously said, as he died in his expensive hotel, "I am dying beyond my means." Always that wonderful turn of phrase. But I think hotel living has some unique qualities. It's just about, as everything in life, finding the right timing.